is an ingredient we're all eating in restaurants, but none of us can see it. Plastic has become part of our food chain. We're serving it, we're eating it without even realizing. But I believe that chefs can be part of breaking this cycle, because when we shift the demand, we shift the actual opportunity here. This isn't something that I want to talk about as something with perfection. You know, for years we've been talking about in restaurants to-go containers and the plastic straws. But what if I told you that before restaurants even put the food on your plate, it's already interacted with plastic dozens of times? It's not about perfection. It's not a call right now of purity, right? We're talking about radical transparency. How do plastics work? Where do they come from? How do we find a way to find healthy alternative solutions where health and sustainability can go hand in hand? The more we have education, the more we can find solutions. When we know better, we do better. So step behind the kitchen pass with me. The delivery truck arrives. Produce is wrapped in all sorts of single-use plastic. We try to take our walk-in fridges that you see here, and we try to put all of these polycarbonate containers that are made from BPA, BPS, or BPF to actually store all of our ingredients. We cut ingredients on plastic cutting boards, the wear and tear, shedding those microplastics into our food. We vacuum seal our ingredients and then sous vide them in a hot water bath of plastic. We blend soups in plastic blenders. We also take our food processing and chopping of ingredients and we put those in those plastic containers. What's really interesting here is that when the sauce is done, we transfer it into the infamous deli container or the larger polycarbonate containers. And then what we're looking at here is heat, fat, acid, and time degrading the perfect storm of these plastics in our food. It's literally the perfect storm for chemical and plastic migration. And then the worst part is that we run them in high heat dishwashers and we use them again and again, degrading that plastic even more over time. On the line, we put our prepped food into our plastic 6 pans. And then from there, we actually now take our beautiful, organic, vibrant vegetables from a local farm, and then we'll cook it in non-stickware made from PTFE, a plastic made from PFAS, forever chemicals, that can migrate into our food. Those scratches make it even more harmful. We taste our hot food with plastic tasting spoons. We wrap all kinds of ingredients in plastic wrap. As a pastry chef, we smell the containers to figure out which ones don't smell like garlic, instead of realizing that if the food can seep into the plastic can seep into the food. And then when we're looking at many of these plastic containers, they're also talking about the soft phthalates that we have, the chemicals added to soften that plastic. We're touching hot ingredients with plastic gloves. We're piping in pastry bags. We're squeezing out of plastic squeeze bottles. We line these trays or even cook a beautiful piece of fish in coated and bleached parchment paper. And then on Expo, the chefs are touching these thermal receipts with their hands, the BPS, BPA absorbing into their skin. And that is actually putting it on the ticket sign, a sense of a good night in a restaurant for most chefs. My restaurant, Ama, means love. And I believe ama e faccio che vuoi, love and do what you will. If you do things from the root of love, only that will transpire. That has been my compass, to choose love and nourishment every single time. So I want to say that also my industry fellows are also nurturers and people who try to do things with love. We're the first people to show up in a crisis and take care of others. But I need my fellow industry to hear me. Sustainability cannot be skin deep. True sustainability must include human health. If it harms us, it is not sustainable. It is hypocrisy. We need to ask ourselves what really sustains us, what protects both human and planetary health, and what quietly is actually harming us. What we know today about these plastics is making us need to take a step closer. As a mother at home, I refused to cook plastic for my son. So as a chef, I needed to make sure that I did the same thing for my guests. So at Ama, we chose another plan. right? That meant asking and reevaluating and figuring out new solutions. And if the solutions didn't exist, it meant building them together. Just weeks ago, California had the chance to phase out the PFAS forever chemicals in all of the nonstick cookware that we're talking about. And while we can expect that, many manufacturers lobbied against that, what was really surprising is how many celebrity chefs with cookware lines actually also did that as well. We cannot buy organic produce from regenerative local farms and then simmer it on plastic-coated pans that shed toxins into our food. And even worse, we can't use stainless steel in our restaurants and then advertise and market it to the consumer at home to use the nonstick pan. Chefs hold tremendous cultural influence. What we normalize in our kitchens reverberates to theirs. 60% of restaurants are actually an independent restaurant in America. So what does that mean? We don't have to wait for the big corporations to make a change. We need to come together, coalesce, find safer solutions, and then we need to create opportunities for advocacy and policy changes. Because when we work together, we can choose better. And the last thing that I will say is I believe women in this industry are not just part of the solution this time. We are the ones who are going to pioneer it. Thank you. We nourish, we connect, we multitask, and we lead with care. I step in the footsteps of the women who just fought to be heard in kitchens. And now I start this other food movement where conscious dining and real nourishment go hand in hand. This movement is about intention because I really believe that intention is our guiding ingredient. Thank you.